Welcome, everyone, to my Finial Box today. This is one of my all-time favorite box designs. And let me show you what the Finial Box looks like. It's a small box. Small box, it's about 2 inches, 50 millimeters by 3.5 or about 90. And the blank is a continuous piece for box and finial. So you get a grain match on the top. And there's an inlay around the rim, the middle of which becomes the foot on the bottom. On the inside of the lid, I like to put a stone in there just for decoration. And I'm also going to do a tiny bit of texture there today. So this is what we're doing today, and the history of this box is it was pretty much the beginning of my developing the signature style that you know me for today, lidded vessels with finials. I first was in the mid to late 90s. That's when I first started turning for a living, selling the things I made. I started doing bottle stoppers. And this is where I learned how to put shapes together and how to make the cuts. And you can see sort of the genesis of finials in some of these. I also have always loved making little boxes. And one day the boxes and the bottle stoppers kind of got together in my mind, and I started making boxes with finials on them. This one's about 5 inches in diameter, and it has a blackwood ring around both the lid and the box. And I also have made these larger. This is about 10 inches in diameter. And with a natural edge, similar style, although this one does not have the blackwood ring. This is 8 inches, which is about 200 millimeters in diameter. Blackwood, African blackwood, finial, and pedestal on all of them. And also natural edge with a blackwood ring around the lid in a different shape. And as you can see, I've expanded on the original quite a bit. But I wanted to show this style I was so excited about to the world. I wanted to share it with the turning community. So I developed this finial box, which I'm thinking as I look back on it, I think I was inspired by Chris Stott's box I saw him do on a VHS tape back in the mid 90s sometime. I designed this finial box to allow me to show finials and vessels and inlay rings in a shorter period of time. And these have actually become quite the piece of their own. And I can vary the dimensions and the proportions a little, as well as the materials, and get different personalities of finial box. And this is what we're going to be doing today, close to what we're going to do today, madrone, and this is a bloodwood inlay, kind of like the one I just showed you. And this one it's a quite a different personality, quite a bit of variation, but same idea, same techniques, more or less the same style. And if I'm using difficult wood, or if maybe I just don't like finials, long finials, or if I want a pop fit box that isn't as delicate, yeah, making a shorter and less detailed finial is a very good option. This is something called Spectraply with African blackwood inlays. I've made a drawing of the piece I'm doing today, and it's got dimensions on it, which is a guideline for you. And this is pretty much the dimensions I'm using today. And I do have a drawing for this box also. But let's get to work here. And I'm going to start with choosing my blank. And I've got the blank here of madrone that I'm going to use today. The grain goes straight through the blank, parallel to the axis of the lathe, so that the finial has grain strength in it. And I'm going to start between centers here just to put chuck tenons on the ends. I'm only doing this instead of preparing it ahead of time because I want to talk about the tenons. I also want to talk about choosing a piece for the inlay. I like some contrast. So here's bloodwood, which is what I used in the little piece I just showed you. That's this one here. This is bloodwood inlay and foot. A nice combination with a light wood like madrone. Here is Amboina burl, wonderful luxurious stuff, and this is what I'm going to do today. Another good choice is a black color. And this is African blackwood, always a good choice for a white wood. So let's talk about safety equipment here for just a second. A full face shield, always a good idea. When I don't have a microphone on my face, I wear this half mask with dust protection filters. I do have one of those for air supply respirator things, but I don't use it as often. I find it's more comfortable to have the mask and the face shield separate. To protect my hearing, I like to use these foam earplugs. That's what works for me, and it is good to protect our hearing. And the most important piece of safety equipment in the shop is the CS button. I know it's out of focus. CS stands for common sense. All the safety gear in the world isn't going to protect you if you do something really stupid. It hopefully will bail you out, but use your brain. That's the best way to be safe, really. And yes, I will always have on safety eyewear whenever I have a machine on. I'm using a peeling cutter. This is a beading and parting tool with two bevels, and I'm contacting the heel, raising the handle till I get chips over the edge. So contact the heel and raise the handle, and then push in, raising the handle a little as I go to keep the edge engaged. That's a great way to make a tenon. And then I will take, this is one way to do it, to make the dovetail, a skew-shaped scraper, and I will give it a little bit of dovetail in the tenon and a little bit of undercut in the shoulder. And I'll just deburr the corners too. So the other side of this box here, the other end, I'm just going to do it a slightly different way. I'm going to use my beading and parting tool again with a peeling cut. And now this is a bit of an advanced kind of a pro move here. If I turn the tool up on its corner and angle it slightly, I now can cut a less than 90-degree angle and create my undercut shoulder and my dovetail right quick. And, you know, that's just a way that I usually do it because I've got that tool in my hand and it's easy to do that. And here's our piece. Now we can line the grain up. That's not it. Yeah, that was it. Okay, yeah, there's our grain match. Very nice. Nice little finial box. All done. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining me for the Finial Box, one of my favorite projects of all time. I hope you're inspired to try it, and I hope you enjoy making a box like this in this size and scale, or a little bigger or a little smaller, and yeah, have fun. Have fun.